Greetings once again from the back patio. I am now just going to say patio from now on. There's no more deck here. It is now officially a patio. All of the old rotten wood is gone. It's been removed from the property altogether. There's still some work to do back here. Because I got the regular JLB. Actually, I have two JLBs that I routinely take care of. So, getting here and doing as much of this as I can, it's a slow process. I hadn't been reviewing beers much because daylight savings time. I get home. I like to do my reviews outside because I like to sit outside and have beverages. Daylight savings times kill me. We're getting a lot of extra hours at work. I mean, I could work really endlessly if I wanted to, but work as much as I can. But it is what it is. We're getting there though. We got it now. This thing is 100% usable, so we can sit outside and enjoy ourselves now. And the weather's great. There's been some Chamber of Commerce stuff so far this weekend. So I don't have a backdrop to do a video inside. I'm gonna have to just suck it up and sit up against a wall or something at some point. I don't put a lot of work into this, obviously, but that's the one little neurotic thing that I indulge myself with is something going on back here. It could be nicer back there, but one step at a time with this patio thing, man. It's just been a lot of work. Anyway, I hadn't done a review since friggin' Beer Fest last month. Had a lot of fun at Beer Fest, but honestly, though, my good friends that usually would meet me down there got screwed up because they rescheduled and they had taken time off from work and all that stuff, and so they couldn't make it. So it was me and Mrs. Southern Sipper walking around down there, and that's great. We always have fun together, but she doesn't like beer, and I after a while I really just start to feel a little bit guilty about dragging her all over downtown Mobile to drink beer. But it was still quite enjoyable. I didn't really find anything new or exciting while we were there. So much on the list. Hell, I'd reviewed half the beers that were on the list. The other half I'd had. But there was one good IPA, and the name escapes me right now. Next review, I'll throw it up, put it in there. It was quite tasty. It won't take long to find it. But anyway, back to the business. What do we have on tap tonight? It's the Forefather Stout from Old Majestic Brewing. And Old Majestic, happily, is right here in Mobile, where I live. So I've actually been there a couple of times. It's a really nice place, man. They do a great job. The beer's good. Got a little place next door, cheese and sandwich shop, and you can go next door and get food. They've got themselves a pretty healthy symbiotic relationship going on there, so you can get some nice snacks while you're having a couple of beverages, and that's always a good thing. That's really good. Now, obviously, this is one I've had. It is a dry stout. It's not a sweet stout. It's a little hoppy on the backside, on the finish. It's roasty with some coffee and toffee and caramel and all that up front. But as you hit the finish, it has that really kind of a yogurty twang. You'll hear me say that a lot about the darker beers, especially the Doppelbocks and things like that. It's part of the game. But this one does have some pretty heavy coffee notes. There's no coffee in it. It just has that from the dark malts. It's a very flavorful beer to only be 5%. It's at that ABV. It's quite sessionable, really quaffable. You could sit down and drink, and because it's a drier stout and fairly low ABV, it doesn't ride real heavy. And from what I can tell, I've not talked to the guys at the brewery about it, but it does appear to be can conditioned, which is nice because you get you pour some swirly, and then around in the glass, and you get a little extra goodness in here. It'll cloud things up. It just adds a little bit to the whole experience. Oh yeah. Generally with stouts, I'm not the biggest dry stout fan in the world. I love stouts, love porters, love brown ale, all the dark stuff. That's brown ales and porters and stouts and doppelbocks and all that sort. It's just that's all in my wheelhouse, big time. So I'm always on the lookout for a new one. And when I found this on the shelf, and that's been months and months ago, I got really excited because they were local here. And I am a huge proponent of drinking local. When I lived in Charleston, it was easy there. There's 30 breweries in town. You couldn't swing a dead cat, without hitting a brewery. And every little bar, every little pub, every little restaurant, everybody had a fair amount of locally brewed beer on hand. I mean, that's just the way it was. The beer culture there is so great. Moved back down here, and I think we have 4 in town. I mean, we're lagging. I don't know how many, the city would support. I think 8 or 10, if you did it right and got in the right place. I think we could easily do that here. But you got to get your local beer drinkers have to go, and you got to buy the beer. And when you're not in the brewery, you need to drink their beer when you're outside the brewery. We have those laws in place now, so we can do that sort of thing, and the breweries can do that sort of thing. So when you're out and about, support your local breweries. Do that. It's a no-brainer, really. If you don't support your local guy, you won't have the local guy. That's just the way it works. But anyway, back to this beer. It's toasty, nutty. It's got, all of the typical dark malty flavors going on with the coffee and some caramel, and it's not particularly yeasty and bready. The hoppy finish jumps in there pretty quickly, and that adds to the dryness of it. It's a bit refreshing like that because, like I said a bit ago, it lends itself to being more quaffable that way and not so heavy. Like I mentioned, 5% ABV. So, now that I'm repeating myself, we'll just wrap this one up. If you see it and you like drier stouts, this would probably be in your wheelhouse. Give it a shot. And like I mentioned, always go drink, from your local brewery any chance you get. Even if you're not that big a beer fan, go do a flight and find the one or the style or whatnot that you like. And just, if you don't do anything else, just support your local breweries. And with that, I'm going to sign this one out. This is your old pal Todd. And as always, enjoy your adult malted beverages responsibly.